What the hell is that?
Hello and welcome to my review of It, the novel by Stephen King. Today we're going to be taking a look at chapter 22, entitled The Ritual of Chud. And overall, I did not like this chapter. I read this chapter a few days ago, maybe 4 days ago, and there's a lot of things I don't specifically remember about this chapter. I was going to go back through and reread it, and then I just decided not to, basically, because I didn't care to. There were some things in this chapter I liked, and some things I really did not. So, basically, they face It in this chapter. And we found out last chapter that It was a big spider. It's a giant spider that has also another form on another plane that's like a giant body of light that's crawling all around. It's weird. It's weird. They face it this time. So when they go into the astral planes or whatever it is, and they're talking to the turtle. It's this big turtle thing that's the other. You know, in the beginning it was it and the turtle spat out the universe, blah, blah, blah. It was that. And then they went to face it, and Bill basically gets in this psychic battle with the spider, and they're fighting on this plane, and Bill rushes past the turtle, and he's going into this big wall that has holes in it with this light coming through, and he almost gets sucked into the deadlights, and Richie comes through and pulls him back. And at this point I need to say, I don't remember which of these happened when they were kids and which of these happened when they were adults. I know that some of the things that happened in 1985, some of the things happened specifically in 1958, and some happened in both. But that doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is these scenes when they were floating around the astral plane. I kind of liked these. I like the character interactions more than anything, like Richie helping to pull Bill back, and Richie using the Irish cop voices. And then also in this exchange, we get the death of Eddie Brack, which is a sad death because he makes the spider take its medicine, because what he does is he sprays the thing and he has faith that it's poison, and they have faith that everything's going to be okay, and the turtle just is dropping all kinds of these knowledge bombs, quote unquote, that just kind of sound like the musings of someone who's like super high, but he's saying to Bill that he needs to, abandon this fright and not be afraid to face his fears, and no more hiding in clubhouses and all that stuff, and I thought that was pretty good. It's just, we've descended into this weird Stephen King thing where it's like, just things start taking place on astral planes and psychologically, and the kind of spiritual nothingness realm, and I just don't find those kinds of things particularly compelling. I like when things happen physically and they're things that are easy to follow and we know what's going on. I mean, I could follow this, but it was just so weird, and I don't know. I didn't really particularly like that. I think Audra dies in this chapter. I know she's up in the web and she falls down and from this big web thing that it was crawling on. I think so. Bottom line is, first time through, they wounded it very badly, but they did not kill it. The second time, we don't know what happens then either. But it gets away, and they take chase, and Ben's going through because they discovered it is pregnant, and they have to get rid of these eggs. So Ben's going through and stomping all these eggs. Beverly is sitting with the body of Eddie, and she's just sort of stroking his hair, and that's very sweet. So basically, overall, character interactions in this, I liked them. I like the character interactions when they're facing it, and we don't know what happened in the second time, whether they're going to kill it or not. I legitimately do not know. The first time, though, we know that they wounded it. They did not kill it. So that was interesting. Then they leave the lair of it, and back in 1958, we get something that happens, which, let's just be honest, it was fucking stupid, and it didn't need to be there. And I had people warn me about this before, but I was still super uncomfortable, and it didn't need to be there. Because here's the thing, basically. The whole point of this was that they were stuck below the city and they needed to escape, okay? And there are a million other ways that they could have had unity among themselves that were not that. I was thinking to myself, okay, it said, or excuse me, not it, but the turtle said at one point, no more hiding in clubhouses, you need to face the world. I was thinking, how great would it have been if these kids were down in the sewer and they all just sort of sat around and talked about why they appreciated each other. Because one of the major fears that Ben had was that these kids were going to leave this place and all of a sudden they weren't going to be united anymore because they have nothing that unites them after this. They all were fighting it, but after that they were all just going to go their separate ways. And if we would have had a section that was like they all sat around and they talked about their past experiences and they started to be united again by what they had in common and the experiences they had, and they realized that the friendships they built during this whole process were what really mattered and what really kept them together. And for once they realized that the clubhouse was never what united them. It was never about the clubhouse itself. It was about each other. And they felt unified. And that would have been like such a great thing. But instead we got this really weird shit that I don't understand, man. I know I said last chapter, I hope nothing stupid happens that makes me not like this. And I guess I haven't read to the end. I guess I haven't read to the ending yet, but I don't know why we did this. This is just this, and it was completely anachronistic with the rest of the book to me. With the rest of the chapter, it just, I mean, the spider thing was enough, and then this, I don't know, man. There's a million different ways that could have been better. I'm still going to keep reading this book. For God's sake, I don't know why that was in there. Anyway, that's my review of Chapter 22. If you like this content, be sure to like this content, and I will be making more of it. And if you want to see more, go ahead and hit that notification bell and hit all notifications, and hopefully YouTube will tell you when I make new stuff. In the meantime, I will see y'all later, and have a good day. Bye-bye.